Good afternoon, I'm Colette Linden.
And I'm Danny Dupuis. Welcome to the special report PM edition.
The PM edition, it's not the PM edition, it's the Premier edition,
really.
That's
true.
So you'll see there the split screen. We are waiting for the Premier to come out. He's coming out in 1 minute. So we are not going to dive into a huge 30-minute show that we have for you. As soon as the Premier is done, we will be right back. So stay tuned. The Premier is going to be joined by Christine Elliott, who is the Deputy Premier and Minister of Health, as she's always in the background, and she's looking pretty good lately. I think they're updating her fashion.
That's
not
what
that she didn't look good before, but I just noticed that wow, she's coming out with some pretty decent outfits.
A video of her yesterday, and you know what? I don't think I could just stand there so still for that amount of time, but she does it so well. And I always like chew the
She
inside
has
of my
got
gums,
one kick-ass poker face, though. I'll tell you what, she does. There's no facial expression. She's very.
I couldn't do that. I mean, does it hurt if she smiles?
No.
I don't know.
I have the worst poker face. You don't want me maybe you do want me sitting beside you at the table. And actually, we want to talk about the casinos because the OLG has, did their review, the quarterly revenue generator today, and Pam gave some money out, so that's great. But we also want to talk about the impact that shutting down the casinos has had on Sault Ste. Marie. As you know, there's a lot of employees. We do see the Premier, and he's also going to be joined by the Associate Minister of Small Business and Red Tape Reduction.
Oh, that's a different
What
one.
a portfolio. And that is Pabrit Sarkaria. And here is the Premier, Doug Ford.
This framework is the start of the process. We've already seen positive progress on the criteria we laid out. And later this week, we'll be releasing the next step in this process. Clear sector-specific labor guidelines for how businesses can operate safely in this new reality. Having a clear framework, having well-defined labor guidelines, these are critical steps to opening the economy safely. These criteria and guidelines will be based on best medical advice and scientific evidence available. Because in the coming days and weeks, as we move to open more and more parts of the economy, as more and more workplaces open up, having clear safety guidelines in place will be critical to keeping COVID-19 at bay. And putting these pieces in place will help us move as quickly as possible to reopen the economy safely. And we can't do that critical work without talking to our job creators and entrepreneurs. As I've always said, our small business owners are the backbone of our economy. Before this crisis, they employed millions of Ontarians. We know they've been hardest hit by this terrible pandemic. It's my job, it's our job to help keep them whole and to help them adapt to this new normal, this new reality. So when we're ready to reopen, they can hit the ground running. That's why we provided over $10 billion in tax deferrals, WSIB, premium relief, and other business supports. We're delivering a $900 million program to provide commercial rent relief to small businesses and landlords. We cleared the way for restaurants and bars to sell alcohol with their delivery and takeout orders. And we allowed 24-hour deliveries so grocery stores and pharmacies can keep their shelves stocked. But we want to do more. We want to help our small businesses. We know it's not business as usual right now. And we're working with businesses to remove barriers and help them adapt. Because by working together, we'll get through this crisis and come back stronger than ever before. Together, we will ensure Ontario is ready to power Canada's economic engine once again. Now, I'd like to pass things over to Minister Sarkaria. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Premier. As Associate Minister of Small Business and Red Tape Reduction, I've been holding regular virtual roundtables with small businesses from every corner of Ontario. Our government, in partnership with our federal partners, has taken the necessary steps to protect public health, support our families, and safeguard our economy, such as last week's Ontario Canada Emergency Commercial Rent Assistance Program. I am always encouraged with how small businesses are pitching in to help conquer the challenge ahead and proposing ways to work together so we can end COVID-19 and recover faster. From hearing from those on the front lines in health and elsewhere on how simple changes could help them do their job better, and from businesses who tell us what they need to do to retool their operations or continue to operate in despite these challenges. This is why we are launching a new regulatory website portal called COVID-19, Tackling the Barriers. Through this portal, we want to make clear the hurdles standing in the way of the most effective and efficient response to COVID-19. Particularly, we are looking for temporary rule or regulation changes that would make it easier to assist our healthcare system in meeting emergency needs, help businesses retool operations to produce health-related products and supplies, and help businesses operate in new ways in the face of unexpected challenges. This feedback will help us prioritize the most pressing concerns and determine where temporary changes to regulations, process, and requirements make the most sense. Feedback from frontline staff, business owners, and others about their challenges with processes, rules, and regulations has already helped our government tackle some very pressing concerns, including enabling trucks to deliver 24/7 to keep food and other necessary supplies on store shelves, improving protection for seniors in retirement homes by allowing for more flexibility to address staffing needs, permitting after-hour construction for critical infrastructure, supporting the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario who have allowed for the temporary certification of qualifying physicians, and permitting restaurants with a liquor license to include alcohol along with the takeout or delivery food order. With the creativity and innovation of Ontarians and a government eager to hear from the front lines, I know this new web portal will help us tear down any roadblocks standing in the way of the most effective response to this crisis. Thank you very much.
We'll go to the phone line for questions. One question, one follow-up, please. First question.
First question comes from Matt Simard from CBC. Please go ahead.
Hi, Premier. The Quebec government announced yesterday its timeline for reopening schools, and it seems like Premier Legault is willing to take more risk and to lift restrictions faster. What do you think of the approach in Quebec?
Well, that's going to be up to Premier Legault. We're taking the advice off our chief medical officer and our health table and our health experts, and we don't want to put our kids at risk. That's really what it comes down to. I'm not going to put our children in a classroom, crowded classroom. I'm just not going to do it. We've got to protect our children at all costs, and we'll make that decision by the end of the month as we come forward. But no, I wouldn't do that here in Ontario.
And so far, the federal government is leaving each province to figure out what's the timeline for reopening businesses and restart the economy. Do you believe there should be a national approach to relaunch the economy?
Well, we had that conversation with the premiers the other day. I'll be speaking to the Prime Minister today, and all regions are different. BC's a little ahead of us, as well as maybe the other areas, Saskatchewan, but we're a whole different area here in Ontario. We have a much larger population, 14.5 million people, compared to provinces that have 2 million people. So it's a whole different ball game here. Our number one priority is going to protect the health and the well-being of the people of Ontario. We'll be able to get to the economy as soon as possible once we see the numbers decrease.
Next question.
Next question comes from Haley Cooper from News Talk.
Welcome back.
Hello.
So we'll have some updates for you what the Premier just mentioned there. But again, he was joined by the Minister of Health and the Minister of the Red Tape Affairs. So
yeah, different title
we'll
there.
get back to that.
That's a new one.
You like that one? Yeah, that was the new portfolio you were saying when Doug Ford took over. He added that. So way to go, Dougie. We are going to talk a little bit about the weather. What's going on? It's grody out there.
Yeah, so as of right now, everyone can see that there are a few showers. So today we have a high of 11. That's going to be simmering down a little bit into the tonight it will be around 4. Heading into Wednesday and Thursday, you're looking at a high of 7 for both those days, as well as a chance of rain. And because of everything that is going on with our water levels and the snow melting, they have issued out a flood watch going on right now. That's in effect until May 1st. Friday. And then also within the next 4 days, people are going to be looking at a volume of rain between 60 to 85 millimeters. That's a lot of rain. Sorry.
She better be wrong. This better be where that 31% goes.
Yeah, this has got to be in the 69% wrong category, please.
Horrendous.
Yeah, so you know what? People watch out. And with the way that the water's surging right now too, levels are going to start going up.
Okay, well, thanks for that. Yeah. Not Danny, but we're going to go see if Chris has any better information for us. What do you have, Chris?
Well, I can give you some positive information. We did get the numbers today from Algoma Public Health. And we still have no new cases of COVID-19 with 9 recovered. So we only have 4 active cases right now. One of the newest active cases started just this past Saturday. So we are at least looking at things going in the right direction here with regards to COVID-19 in terms of containing it. Also, Postmedia just came out just only a few minutes ago with an announcement that they'll be closing some of their papers. In total, they're going to be closing 15 papers across Canada. The last editions of those papers will run next week. A couple will still stay on as online digital versions, but there won't be a print version anymore. In Ontario, they are ending the Kingsville Reporter, the Lakeshore News, which is in Windsor, Essex, LaSalle Post, Napanee Guide, Paris Star, Tecumseh Shoreline Weekly, and Tilbury Times. And this will amount to about 30 permanent layoffs from those papers. They've also announced that their CEO is going to be taking a 30% pay cut, and they are laying off some of their sales staff for the next 3 months, trying to contain their costs during this pandemic, because the advertising dollars are just drying up in print right now. So we'll see where Postmedia is when we get out on the other side of this, but for now they have closed 15 of their local papers. And I will have an interview with Paris Marks tonight at 7 p.m. and we'll have a short 1-minute clip from that later in the show. Back to the desk.
That is one awesome name, Paris Marks.
I like that.
I know, it's super cool. Look forward to that interview. Okay, we're gonna hit some community news before we throw to commercial. So we found the story today. We didn't get it in time. I'm not too sure what happened, but there was a police officer going down Trunk Road towards with the 600 block. Okay. So in a commercial space, this is available, and they see 2 vehicles pulled over. The trunks are open. So the police officer pulls in, and to his surprise, there's a lot of drugs and other stuff in the trunk. One of the cars takes off, and that car, they're still looking for that guy. So the 3 were charged and arrested and are still being held. And there's $10,000 worth of narcotics that they found. Yeah.
Whoa.
So it's quite a big story. But
Did they say what kind?
They did. Crack cocaine, $480 in Canadian cash. And the street value was estimated at $12,900. Pretty big payday.
No kidding.
Yeah, so you wanted to touch on some stuff about Givingtuesday, which is also Cinco de Mayo, which is the 5th of May. What do you got for us?
As the 5th of May, it is International Giving, so they've created a Givingtuesday, which is known Canada-wide, national-wide, and they're basically, it's just saying, you know what, let's donate anywhere we can. And there are a few places in town that you can donate to if you feel like you'd like to participate in this Givingtuesday. The Ontario Finnish Rest Home is a non-for-profit. We also have St. Vincent, and they recently just moved their way over so that you can also donate online. So
I saw that today. You're saying that.
A lot of these not-for-profits, they didn't have that access before, but shifting forward with COVID-19, now they actually have a chance.
I'm surprised they didn't have it before, to be honest with you. And the CRE Hospital and Arch are those other great places you can donate to. There are so
many. We have the United Way. There's also Children's Aid. So if you are feeling generous and you would like to give back, consider Givingtuesday, Tuesday, May 5th as that day to give back.
And we're going to have some interviews leading up to that, but we are going to come back after this commercial break with some more information for you. Stay tuned.
A message from the Government of Canada.
At Maitland Ford Lincoln, we see our trucks everywhere. We see them on Queen Street, Lake Street, North Street, Bay Street, 2nd line, 3rd line, 4th line, Pine Street, Great Northern Peoples Road, Wellington, Cora Road, Bruce Street, Carmen's Way, Northern Ave, Trunk Road. Folks come from all over Algoma District and beyond to buy their truck at Maitland Ford Lincoln. Amazing prices, outstanding service. King Street, Shannon Road, Goulet Bay, Black Road, Government Road, and even on Pine Shores. Yep, our trucks are everywhere. Get yours at Maitland Ford Lincoln, built for Northern life, on Great Northern Road, just north of the hospital.
Hey, welcome back. We had some giggles about our millennial age difference, but we are learning from Danny, and Danny is learning from us, but we'll get that in a minute. What we do want to talk about is today I had an interview with OC Hair, oh gosh, I have to get this right, Hair, Bath and Body Co. So they also own another company, which is a cosmetic labs company, okay? So they were charged by, or not charged, as in they were approached by the federal government to see if they could do something with their products. So they actually are making hand sanitizers.
Oh my God, that's phenomenal.
And so I said to him, I'm like, oh, are you you're helping out the community? What are you doing? He's like, well, yeah, but they're also helping all of Canada. They're sending a product to British Columbia and Alberta. So we do have an interview with them coming up. Like you said, we recorded it today. It'll be on the show this week. But I really just wanted to say congratulations to a local business who's making a difference across the country. Way to go, guys. Way to go, Tyler and Franco.
Way to go. And even keeping up with, that support and being able to be there. Yeah, the community also has the Bears and Ribbon Hunt that's going on. We're putting teddy bears into our windows to support those frontline workers. And one individual kind of took it upon herself to reinvent that with some teddy bears.
With what? What did she do?
She dressed up her teddy bears outside, and she ended up having little sceneries and different scenic outlooks for her bears. So there's going to be a few pictures coming up here shortly from Mandy Fuller. And here they come. So this is one, she's got her bears in a chair, and they're having, looks like a little story time. We got another one coming up too, and look at that, a day at the beach with her teddy bears.
This is in the zoo?
Yeah.
What's this weather?
I know. I think this was over the weekend. And we have one more coming up too. Look at this. She just posted this one saying, we were prepared for a little bit. We were going to go tobogganing, but now there's also rain in the mix of it. But I also love those teddy bears, and I wish I had them, to be honest.
I'm not going to lie to you. I have the one on the left.
I do. That's awesome. Well, thank you, Mandy, so much.
I mean, Dante.
Thanks, Mandy, for sending those pictures in. And you know what? Even talking about the bear and ribbon bow hunt right now, they almost have 5,000 members a part of this group. It's incredible, and it's based
So that's a continuation of the other group that we had going on, right?
That was the Easter egg hunt. And Sarah apparently has some, she hasn't released it yet, but there's some wheels turning for the next little hunt they got going on.
Well, I can't wait, but what we were commenting on was the Bears.
The Bears.
And Danny did.
Nope, right over my
Saturday Night reference. So we're going to throw it over to my other Bears fan over there, Chris in the corner.
Thank you very much, Colette. Yes, I remember the Bears on Saturday Night Live. That was some pretty good skits back then when they were super funny. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the economy here in Ontario and Canada. We are seeing a direct hit from both COVID-19 and also oil prices have collapsed. A lot of our economy depends on high oil prices. Our economy contracted in the first quarter by only 9.8%. I say only because in the second quarter it's predicted to contract by 37.5%. That is compared to growth of 1.6% of what it was supposed to be originally. So this is the biggest contraction in our economy in 6 decades, and it's way bigger than what we saw in 2008, 2009 when the whole housing crisis happened, and we saw massive contractions in the economy across the globe. However, the government is spending hundreds of billions of dollars in stimulus money on both directly helping households with things like CERB, for example, the Canadian Emergency Response Benefit, and also businesses. Just this week, the wage subsidy came out, and over 10,000 businesses applied within the first few hours of that even coming out. Overall, economists are expecting our economy to contract by 10% this year in the worst case scenario. And as far as GDP goes, which is your gross domestic product, how much you actually produce, It won't be until 2022 that we're back up to the same GDP that we had last year in 2019. The biggest areas that are going to be hit, though, are travel, and economists are just not sure what's going to happen there. We're not sure when people are going to be comfortable going on to an airline again, staying in hotels, going to casinos. I mean, we had the Las Vegas mayor on last week with her great interview with Anderson Cooper, and she wanted like Vegas to open back up, have the professional sports teams and conventions all back to normal in Vegas. Well, the rest of the world is not normal. And it'll be interesting to see how long it takes Vegas to recover even when we do open things back up again. So we'll see what happens there. Back to the ladies.
Thanks, Chris. Pretty sure the mayor of Vegas wasn't that normal either. But
no, not
get back into that. Right? A couple more things before we go into some Mother's Day stuff. And we have a roundtable later today, or later after this next commercial, that we want to talk to you about a few things. So first of all, thanks to Casey's Security for sponsoring our show. The OMA, Ontario Medical Association, has deemed Friday, May the 1st as turning your phone on and acknowledging and shedding a light on doctors. So at 9 p.m., they are asking everybody to step outside and shine your flashlight on your cell phone to acknowledge all the work that the doctors have been doing. You wanted to talk quickly about some strides.
Yes, so Strive Young Professionals Group, they are hosting a webinar happening tomorrow. It's called Thrive to Survive. It's just strategies and keeping up with, how to have a positive mindset during these difficult times. They'll also be discussing the role of habits and routines, staying active, creating new opportunities. It is a free webinar. It's going to be going on tomorrow at 9 a.m. So, if you're looking for some new tips, check it out.
Sweet. Well, we'll be right back after this commercial break for our roundtable. Welcome back. We are going to talk a little bit about our roundtable. Actually, no, we're going to talk about Mother's Day. Never mind. Mothers are more important. So earlier in the show, or the early 8 a.m. show, we showed an image that Danny found on Instagram that Rome's grocery store had posted. And I'm not too sure, Mike, if you were able to grab it. There it is. FYI, Dad, your kids will not be bringing home handmade Mother's Day gifts from school this year. You have 14 days. But it's not
they got 12 days.
You've got 12 days. So we wanted to act upon that. First of all, very funny ad for Rome's to be posting and great. I mean,
it was clever.
You can get really flowers good. There.
Yeah.
But if you want to go above and beyond the flowers this year, we've got some ideas for you. You can write something special to your mom.
Oh, like a little card or something,
Yeah. Handwriting, or give back and donate to your mom's favorite charity.
Hey, Giving Tuesday.
I was just going to say that Giving Tuesday would be a great option. Help with outdoor tasks, have a family car wash, clean together virtually, just clean up, which my kids better be doing regardless. Offer to do the dishes, which again, my kids better be doing regardless. Get outside and take your mom for a walk or a picnic. I think this one might be my favorite one. Hint,
but wait for the weather, because remember it is supposed to rain. So hopefully, or you know what, Mother's Day.
Danny just put a
we got 2 more weeks. Or sorry, 12 more days till Mother's Day.
Yeah,
sorry,
we're good. And a couple other days is grow something beautiful and just walk outside and learn together. So those are some options. But we are going to go to Chris, and he's got a video for us today. What do you have for us today?
Yes, thank you very much. Yes, I interviewed Paris Marks, and I'm going to be talking to him tonight on my show, and then the other part will be on Thursday. But tonight is about the future of the automobile, and here's a short 1-minute clip to give you a preview. Yes. So the first segment, we're going to talk about cars. What are the effects of our dependence on cars?
Yeah, so there are a lot of effects, some of the worst is that it kind of spreads us out. So instead of having these communities where we live closer together, we can easily walk and, take transit to where we need to go. It makes us kind of rely on cars to get everywhere. So even if we need to go to the shop to get a few groceries, even if we need to go to an appointment, we always need to get in the car to make that trip, right? And then that creates congestion, traffic, which people get really angry about. But it also has effects on kind of reducing our ability to just get exercise in our everyday lives. Obviously, it has major environmental effects, but there's also effects on public budgets too, right? Because the further and further that our communities are spread out and the less dense that we are, the more expensive it becomes to deliver services that way.
And that was Paris Marks. He is doing his master's at McGill in geography. If you want to see the full interview of the automotive part, it'll be tonight at 7 o'clock. And back to the desk.
Awesome, Chris. I'll definitely be watching that video tonight. Okay, quickly, we were going to talk about security guards at bus stops and opening the economy and vaccines and the OLG, but we're running out of time, so we're going to do that at the roundtable tomorrow. So come back tomorrow for that. But first, before we leave you for the day, we want to talk about the hashtag In This Together SSM, which is another thing we want to talk about. People are using that hashtag. Thank you, City of Sault Ste. Marie. We are going to show you Casey's, which is also the Water Tower Inn, and it's a preview that you can see tonight at the 5 o'clock newscast. Casey's, I've been there a few times on the weekends to hear your great live bands, as well as the Water Tower Inn. How are you, Jamie?
I'm great. How are you doing, Colette?
I'm awesome. Thanks for asking. We have so much to talk about in a little period of time, so I'm going to keep it to the point. Tell me how this has affected your businesses, this pandemic.
It's almost, I almost lack words to say.
Yeah, I bet.
To unfortunately put many of our staff on layoff. Our business has really seen an unprecedented period.
So I don't know if you've taken food out from Casey's.
So good.
But I heard that the ribs and their chicken parm is amazing. But on top of that, their initiative is to give 5% of every sale to women in crisis.
Oh,
so I
that's
encourage
beautiful.
you, when you're doing your takeout this weekend or this week, maybe for Mother's Day, let's order from Casey's, and women in crisis will benefit from that greatly. So that's the end of our show today.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you need to contact us, email us at specialreportssm@gmail.com. Remember that we're doing the campaign initiative hashtag In This Together SSM, and that at 5 o'clock we will be showing that video with Casey, and to join Chris at 7 o'clock to hear the rest of Paris Mark's video. And we'll see you tomorrow. Have an awesome rainy Tuesday evening.
Hopefully. I hope that when I go home for my run, it doesn't rain on me, because I hate running in rain. So it keeps changing every so second. It's like, it's gonna rain, and then
Tuesday's
it doesn't.
my walk day too. Yeah.
Tuesday's my day off, okay? I'm not running today, but you deserve a little rain cloud for calling the rain. Come on. Well, anyways, guys, have an awesome Tuesday, whether it be rainy or shiny. We will see you tomorrow morning.
See you tomorrow.